ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic weekend of Formula 1 racing here on the EGL Extreme Gaming League. I'm Tipsy Bob, and joining me on the mic is my trusty sidekick and my good friend, Dad Bats. Covering all the action today, we're going to be covering everywhere from Monaco, Singapore, Abu Dhabi, and Bahrain, all across the world, all across the country. We have a full grid lined up, some of the best talent around the world. We have plucked them from all corners of the earth to give you some of the greatest racing experience footage you'll ever see in your lifetime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGL. There we go, once all the cars are all lining up on the grid. They're all getting ready. The drivers will be focusing on their first corner. Are they going to take it? What are they going to do? Is it going to go deep? Are they going to go? Who knows? Let's take it out. Away we go!
DRS is still active, and if Timo wants to get this moved on, he's gonna need to use this DRS zone, because I have a feeling... Oh no, Timo, cancel the first, you're in distraction zone! I tried to mount up another overtake on 23 trademark. This is Ryan 3 quarter.
And Timo are oh, he hits the pit! Oh no! Oh my god, this so sorry, control myself. So Timo
So what we gotta do so they can stand at the back together again, just like Timo likes it.
how many times did you see how many times Timo tried to get into the pit?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is race night once again here on a nice Saturday evening. Looking at the ribbing of an Alfa Romeo, we are at Silverstone. It is we've just passed the halfway point of this 5th season of SLR, and it's the British Grand Prix qualifying session. It looks dry, and in the virtual commentary booth are myself, Timo, and as always, Mr. Terra. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. It's good to be here. Good to have everyone along for the ride on this one. We're at Silverstone, as we have been all week. It is a dry qualifying session, and I'm being informed that we have a dry race as well. So no wet weather shenanigans. We still have to worry about tyre strategy, but it's a pretty straightforward one, soft medium for the most part. Tipsy Bob has said he's still coming in last, even though it's a dry race in qualifying. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it's one of those tracks where it's a DRS train for most of the race, I would have thought, and certainly in Tier 1 I would expect that to be the case. But having said that, it always throws up the occasional surprise, and because everyone's DRS locked, it means that the performance difference you quite often see with a lot of these drivers is to some extent going to be neutralized here, so it should be a fun race.
Yeah, there's definitely a big factor, the DRS train here, more than on other tracks, but there's still, like, if you're really quick and you get a good run through Maggots and Beckett, it's like possible to break the chain, so to speak, and then break free from the rest of the train. And if you manage to do that, like, it's a pretty tough ask, but if you manage to do it, you're set for like a pretty good race, because then you get to enjoy not having anyone on your back for the entirety of the race. So it's hard to do, but you get rewarded nicely, and it's always worth trying.
Yep, absolutely right. Winning the race off pit road today for his first run is Bryce Evolution, so I'm going to follow him around his lap a little bit. Neat and tidy first sector. It's a 26.8, which is fairly fast for this early in the qualifying session. So I would expect pole to be somewhere around, what, a 24 flat or so. That's sort of the pace that we're looking at for the really fast boys today.
I think, yeah, we're gonna probably be in the low 24s. I would agree with that. Maybe someone, and by that someone, I probably mean you guys, but maybe someone else. I mean, there's always surprises. Could do a 23.9, but it is rare. I've seen only one. I was some idiot. So.
Yeah, rapid racers last night, living up to its name, and some idiot, very rapid indeed, 23.9 from him. So Bryce is going to come across the line very shortly indeed. It looks like it's been a reasonably neat and tidy lap from him. It's not going to get into the 23s. It's going to get into the 24s though. 24.868 or 867. And that, I will suspect, will be beaten in fairly short order by the very fast boys, but still a respectable first run. Jensen crosses the line, yeah, 24.6.
Jensen giving us a little bit of a sign of life. And you guys
1,000th of a second.
About beats, and that must be frustrating for Jensen, though. I expect the session, well, the fastest time to change over the course of this, so this doesn't particularly matter. Still, also really fast by Bryce. For a first run, 24.8 is no joke. As you, I mean, probably would have guessed by the fact that the very fast boys are only 0.2 quicker.
Yeah.
One outlier, and that is Bailey, who's on mediums, and he's put in a 25.4, which is really good for mediums. I mean, mediums are like, what, 7/10 slow or something like that? So.
Yep, something like that. So yeah, that's right up there if you adjust for that. But yeah, I mean, it's a weird one to go out on mediums. Maybe just doing a sighter lap. I don't know. Maybe he wants to keep a set of softs fresh for the race. Astro Boys has put it in P3 with a very good lap, a 24.7 from Astro Boys. He was, as usual, panicking about setups earlier on in this session. We've lost Julian. He seems to have crashed on the exit of Beckett's. Yeah, looks like it. So
what with Pretorius, we can see at the right side in the barrier, that was a racing point, and that is indeed Julian. So that was not a manual retirement. It was, well, you know, it was manual by not driving left and instead taking right-hand turn into the wall. So, you know, you could call that manual. Don't think it counts though. So that's he's locked in for 25 flat now, which is okay, but that's not gonna hold for long in this tier 1 grid, especially because it didn't hold long for me yesterday in the tier 2 grid either. So I doubt it's gonna be much better here.
Yeah, I would expect that to be towards the back of the grid, unfortunately for Julian. That's an unfortunate mistake for him to make, but still he's put a lap in, so
yeah,
not the end of the world. We got a couple of people, absolutely, yeah, it could have been. A couple of people have gone into the pits. Icewind has gone on mediums for his first run. He abandoned his lap halfway around it. Copy is now out as well. Danny didn't get a lap in. I guess he must have invalidated. We've got JQR as well, who's I think on a lap at the moment. And Copy is on his lap right now as well. 101.6 for the second split, which I think is pretty good. It'll be sort of up there-ish. Through Stowe he goes. He ran wide on the exit and invalidated, and he'll pit now for that. So he's obviously pushing very hard there. JQR with a very good lap in the Alpha Tauri, a 24.7 from him. He goes P4.
track limits are also like an interesting factor here. It's I mean, we come off the back of the triple header of Canada, France, and Austria, and obviously penalties are like a huge factor on those tracks. And in Britain, it's like a little bit of a different dynamic because in Austria and in France, I think we tend to see these huge penalty stacks, like some drivers getting like 15, 24 or something, and other drivers maybe like getting nothing. And in Silverstone, I have a feeling like most drivers get something, but like no one really gets a lot. So I think it's not as much of an advantage as on other tracks. But it is more interesting because there are no drivers who just like completely fall flat on their faces on the track limits. Usually, I mean, you never know.
Yeah. I think it's I think the difference that I would say that there is between something like this and something like Canada is that you don't really gain time by abusing track limits at Silverstone. Usually, I mean, exit of Stowe is maybe one place where you do, but usually it's just a question of you making a mistake, essentially, like not turning in at the right point, just not quite being precise enough with the throttle or whatever, or with the steering. So usually drivers get 1 or 2 penalties. I think in the Tier 3 race that we had earlier this week, all of the top 5 had exactly 1 penalty. As Danny, by the way, has invalidated another lap, so oh, never mind, he's on an out lap. Oh no, he is on a hot lap. Maybe he hasn't invalidated then, because he's going to come across the line now. He did a 24.5. It was invalid, so it would have been pole, and yeah, he decided to finish the lap instead of bailing out of it. So yeah, it's a curious one.
Maybe conserving the tires. Also, one thing I'm gonna do right now is oh wait. Well, this is unfortunate. I can't tab out without giving us a black screen, so that makes the graphics a lot better, you know. That's
yes.
actually annoying. I don't know why, but we've got these graphics, and I'm not quite sure how they work. Is this track record I'm seeing of Etney right now, like the pole time of season 1? Is that how it works? Like,
let's have a look. What's the lap time?
It's a 25.8 and maybe
25.8 season 1 F1's 2018. So yeah, I would think I think the track record is the qualifying, and then the pole, then the lap record is the race lap record for SLR. So I think that's probably the case. And yeah, the F1 2018 cars were generally a little bit faster than the F1 2019 cars.
I would agree with that.
So that checks out. Jensen is on a lap. He's just done his second sector split, and it was a good one. He's a 10th.5 up on his best so far. Through Stowe he goes. He scrubbed off a lot of speed there on the apex. Maybe was okay, though. Into the final chicane. Again, neat and tidy. Gets it down to second gear. Brings it wide for the second part of the right-hander. He's going to cross the line, cut to the inside, and a pole position lap time of 24.4. with 8 minutes to go in the session. That is a pretty good lap, and you can see that the track is improving.
Yeah, we're slowly and surely getting there towards the low 24s. Probably most drivers are going to do 1 or 2 more runs from here. But
Hugo's got Pixel in front of him. He's on a lap here, and Hugo, I was going to say, is Pixel going to try and do the sneaky slipstream, but he decides not to. He gets out of the way there in Woodcut, so Hugo carries on his merry way.
Beautiful through cops. It's pretty easy to do that one flat in this game, especially with Hugo's setup, because it drives like a dream. I've got to say myself, as a Hugo's setup shop enjoyer myself. So it just sticks, and he uses that to full advantage. Did you see the sector split? I missed it.
Yeah, it wasn't spectacular. It was 600ths down. I just wonder if he was affected by either dirty air or just the distraction of having Pixel's car in front of him there in the complex. But in any case, through the last couple of corners, Astro Boys has put it on pole in the meantime. We missed that. 24.4 from him. Hugo improves marginally, but not enough to move him up a place.
I'll use this chance to get another graphic on the... Never mind. That's amazing. Where is it? This has been prepared a lot. Okay. I don't know why it's not borderless anymore. That doesn't make sense either. Sorry, I'm gonna... that's wrong.
So JQR, his second run he abandoned, as he was a quarter of a second down at the second split, so he's not improving. Justin now, I'm not exactly sure what his situation is. He's just yeeted it through Stowe. into the last couple of corners, just in P10 at the moment on a 25.1. And across the line he comes. It's going to be an improvement, and a big improvement as well. 24.8 from him. He goes P7.
Yeah, it's like slowly building up, but we still don't have these amazing times like the 0.1s, the 0.2s, maybe even 0.0. But also then we've got multiple competitive drivers who haven't set laps yet. I'm especially thinking about Danny and Copy saying that, no disrespect to the others. Icewind is also really quick. I think Icewind even did a 0.2 in tier 2, so I'd actually be crazy to not include him in that. So, and I don't know what Pixel and My Cruiser do. They are like kind of shaky, sometimes really quick, sometimes just not on their game. So
Pixel just crossed the line with a 25.4, so that was a decent lap from Pixel. He's put it in there. Copy does do a fast lap now. He does a 24.5 and just slots it in there in front of his teammate and behind the front row pairing at the moment of Astro and Jensen. Gary, we've not talked about Gary really this session yet. He obviously has had a few very good races in a row now. He's doing very well in the championship. He's in the Racing Point, coming through Woodcut now and into Cops. P5 with his first lap, 24.6. So he'll want to improve. Through Beckett's nice and committed through there, and all very precise on the inside of the second part of Beckett's there. 101.3 with the second sector, so that is it's an improvement for him, and I think it's pretty fast as well. I think that's going to be towards the front of the grid. Through Stowe he goes. Again, very committed through Stowe. Lots of revs there in 5th and 6th gear. Into Club, little bit of a lockup. That won't have cost him though. The line was perfect. And the exit of the final corner. It's going to be a fast lap from Gary. He crosses the line. He goes P2. So very close at the front of the grid.
Yeah, so Astro Boy is still holding himself up there, which is really impressive. I mean, he's been successful in the earlier season. You could argue he was the fastest in Season 2, where he also incidentally won, which you can see on the bottom right of your screen.
Danny on a fast one. Sorry to interrupt. He's coming through the second sector now. 101.3 was his second sector, so he's going to be right up there with this lap. If he can finish it, he invalidates Danny. Oh, you just got to put a lap in, my dude. Oh, that's a painful one.
Yeah, this has been really disappointing for him so far. He finally needs to be able to be focused enough and like not make that mistake. It was really unnecessary. You don't even gain much time. I mean, maybe a little bit, like you mentioned earlier. Not enough. Anyways, what I was gonna say, Astro has been struggling lately. Has like found himself at the bottom end of the points generally, like P7 to P13 is I think where I would have judged him the past races, and the fact that he's still holding pole so deep into this qualifying session. I mean, there's only 2 minutes and a half. Probably a little more because of the timing bug, but not a lot of time remaining. And he is still leading the charts, which makes me think that he's really gone all out in Silverstone and showing some impressive...
Oh, we've lost, who's that light cruiser on the exit of turn 1, just doing a spin turn to right himself around, so he's obviously had an off there. And yeah, it's a weird one. Having said that, I would expect the fast boys to improve on these laps. They are clear conditions, so sunny conditions, which I think generally is the fastest in F1 2020. Hugo starting his final lap now, so he'll want to improve on his P5 at the moment. He doesn't have to improve by much, and we know he's very capable of doing it.
Yeah, he will not be happy with what he has done so far in this qualifying session, but maybe he can finally find some joy in his result by putting a good lap in now and getting himself up there from the third row onto the grid, where he probably feels himself he doesn't belong, and jumps up positions, but that's not invalid. That's actually insane. I didn't think that was still valid because he full on went off track, but he still carried the speed and is very...
Yeah, the line wasn't good though. He certainly will have cost him a couple of tenths, I would have thought. The line was not good. So he's going to be, well, pushing for all he's worth now. I would still expect him to improve on a 24.5. He's certainly got a lot more pace in there. I think he did 24.0 yesterday in the Rapid Racers race. He crosses the line for the second split, and yeah, this is going to be fast. So he's a tenth and a half up into the third sector.
Yeah, which would bring him into contention with Gary and Astro. If he finds a little bit more in the third sector, he might just be on the front row or even the top spot. It's is it provisional pole position for our championship lead? A little bit slidey through the last sector, and he crosses the line, and it is not enough for the front row. It is P3 for now, just behind Gary, just ahead of Jensen, and the others still get another shot to go at him. So Yugos might actually look at a disappointing qualifying session. P3 is okay, but if Jensen and Copy can improve this, this might not. I mean,
I
this
wouldn't
might
have
leave him
thought it'll
disappointed.
stay P3.
Yeah.
So yeah, he will be disappointed with that. That's I would say at least 4/10, maybe even half a second off his ultimate pace, and we don't often see that from Hugo. We usually see him hook one up in qualifying. JQR on a lap 101.5 middle sector, so he is pretty quick. He's looking at putting it, I think, just ahead of Pretorius at the moment if he can hold this lap. Very conservative into the final couple of corners through the club chicane. Got the power down very nicely though, and crossing the line, he does indeed do exactly that. He goes P6 on a 24.697.
Copy in the meantime up just a little bit, but probably enough to get ahead of Hugo. So if he just like reproduces his last lap, or well, the fastest lap he's done so far in the last two sectors, and he will beat his teammate, but he will want more. I mean, the gap between Gary and Yugos isn't too big, and then the gap to Astro is also pretty beatable. He and Astro boys.
It's so close that the gap
Yeah.
between Copy, who's in P6, and Justin puts in a lap that puts in P5. Copy in P6 is less than a 10th off pole. So he's gonna, and it's not a great second sector from him, 101.4. So he's going to have to do a very fast final sector if he wants to improve. Through Stowe he goes. He's going to give it absolutely everything he's got through there, carrying a lot of speed.
Jensen in the
And
meantime
into the final sector. Jensen, yeah, sorry.
has put in the provisional pole time, and Copy's probably got the best chance to beat that, even though Sector 2 didn't look amazing, and it is a little improvement, and it is just ahead of his teammate, but still not enough for the front row, not even enough for P3. Can Gary and Astro boys get back at them? No, Astro has abandoned. Gary's still on a flyer, but that is a little bit down.
half
On
a
his
tenth
time,
down,
and finally, at the end of the session, after having thrown away
Wow.
every lap time, Danny shows up and gets a pole position, unless... No, unless
Wow.
today. Gary third, and Danny's on pole, and I did not expect that to happen, but it is a nice sight for sure.
Yeah, I think that's our grid. Tipsy puts it P16 on a 25.2, which is less than a second off pole, by the way, in P16. But certainly, it's such a close grid at the front. And yeah, Danny took us all by surprise there. We weren't necessarily expecting that, but he did have the pace the whole qualifying session. We saw his times. They were pretty good. And finally, he hooks one up, and he is on pole position. Copy and Hugo, the Williams boys, who have dominated the championship so far, down in P5 and 6.
Yeah, so they've got some working to do if they want to, well, extend their championship lead. I wouldn't say that they're under a particular amount of pressure. Like, they are still very much fine, but it is interesting to see how they seem to struggle with Silverstone. I did not expect this to happen, and that's why Danny, with a .2, has pole position, and also Gary and Jensen, really good results, as well as Astro.
But yeah, Danny has been certainly putting in the hours. He's been doing a lot of racing, and it's paying off for him. We saw him at the start of the season just a tiny bit behind Hugo, and maybe in terms of ultimate pace in most tracks, he maybe still is just a tiny bit behind Hugo, but I think the gap is closing between those two. And it's really good to see Danny putting it on pole with an excellent lap right at the end of the session.
JQR is also in an interesting position on his 24.6. It is P11, which is the best. Well, you could do medium soft from there, and that could work out well. But then again, Silverstone is not one of the tracks where P11 is like the hidden pole position. It's not
It's only a minor advantage. I mean, it does mean that if he wants to start on the softs, even he can put a fresh set of softs on, and that means he can, have a little bit faster car through the first stint than those drivers ahead of him. And we do have a completely dry race, according to our meteorologist, Mr. Tipsy Bob. So Yeah, it'll be a fun one.
Julian, who has put one lap in and then inexplicably turned right in Chapel, has remained in P13, which isn't as big of a drop as I expected, but still, he's got some work to do, and he's probably got the pace to do it, so he might be one to watch. Maybe he's gonna make his way up through the field. I heard he's had a little bit of a resurgence lately, so...
Yeah, he certainly has. I'm sure there's an oval joke in there somewhere about him turning right at the wrong time.
Oh dear, Taylor.
But you know.
Oh dear. I'm the German here and you make the bad jokes. That's interesting. So,
So the formation lap getting underway. I don't know if there's any
Terra
more
also
graphics
getting
Timo has to
underway.
pull up.
Terra getting underway with some prime time lag. I'd
Oh
that.
my goodness.
You're like almost
Sorry in
50%
advance for the
here.
lag here. All right.
But he is
I'm gonna
right.
refill my coffee in that case. Be right back.
We've got some standings to look at, and they look pretty beautiful. I actually don't know who makes them. I think the template is from Mills over from 2S, but I'm not quite sure. I don't think he did them for SLR because it's a lot of work. But yeah, they look stunning, and what's also stunning is Hugo's championship lead, because that's maths, you know. So 57 points, and that's pretty commanding. We're halfway into the season. Getting 57 points of a gap over a full season is a little bit of a challenge, and getting it in half a season is even better. I wonder what the trend is going to be. Copy starts ahead of him, but even if they were to finish as they qualified, Copy would gain 2 points, which is not enough if you ever want to close that gap. So Hugo's still like set at the top of the table. Gary is slowly chopping away at that lead on Copy, our Season 2 champion. It's down to 30 points, and Pretorius is lurking behind them. We've also got some constructors. Or do we? Yes, we do, but they are not prioritized. Here they ship. Hello? Hello! There they are. Go Williams. I mean, obviously, in P1, because they are 1-2 in the standings, and that's a huge lead. I wonder how much commentator's curse I would need to put on them for them to bottle this lead, but yeah, they're definitely gonna win. Surprising
Quite
universe.
a lot. Yeah, I would have thought so. But yeah, P5 and 6 is not going to be where they're wanting to start, but there's a long race to go. They are both very good in terms of racecraft, Copy and Hugo.
And that's a beautiful camera angle. I wonder if Jensen can do something on the inside of Danico as we go. We go green in Great Britain. That was not a long wait at all, and it looks like Jensen's got a pretty poor start. Actually, the second row is the first row. Where did Gary and Astro come from? Astro's taken the lead, and Danny goes already down to P5. He's fighting with his teammate Bailey Thompson for P5. Jensen hanging on in P3. Gary and Astro are now the leaders of this race. Copy has made his way past... or he's still fighting with Jensen. There's a little bit of wheel banging going on between those two, so Jensen keeps P3 for now. There's a bit of a draft snake as well between Astro and Gary, and Copy still alongside Jensen. Jensen breaks too deep into the corner, and I think that should give Copy the position. He's got his nose ahead. He's got to swing it around the outside in Brooklyn's, coming through towards Woodcote, and that's the move done. Finally, Danny, our poleman, down to P5, Bailey Thompson 6, and then the third Brit in a little bit of a queue. Yugos is in P7. Oh, someone's turned left! That's Basketini, and he's gone, and that's a safety car, and I get to breathe. That's amazing.
Wow, what a start from Astro Boys. I was on board with Copy, who was P5. Astro was P4 ahead of us to the right, and he just absolutely launched off the line. He made it 3 wide on the right-hand side just by the pit wall, and took the lead into turn 1. It was an absolutely incredible start. Big loser off the start was Hugo, who really didn't get off the line very well, and he got boxed out a little bit on the outside of Wellington as well, the left-hander, before the back straight. So Hugo down to P8, Julian up to P10.
Pit stops, and I think
he obviously had something. Oh,
they're diving in for mediums. There's a big queue on this on the pit lane, and no one got a speeding penalty. Obviously, a little bit of a factor here. Pit lane is 60 kph instead of the usual 80, so tends to catch people out a little bit. It didn't this time, and that's actually terrible news for Bailey, because he did the same as his teammate. He's gonna get held for quite a long time, and same goes for Yugos, who's been double stacked yesterday in Rapid Racing, and who's gonna be double stacked exactly behind the same guy, Copy, again here. So that's put Bailey and Hugo even further down the order.
And Copy on hards, and I wonder if that is a
no.
mistake or if that is a tactical move that he has made. I don't know the exact dynamics here, but certainly the mediums can go to the end. But the question is, at the end of the race, are the hards going to be faster than the mediums? That might be what matters. It's a big DRS train track, which means that you don't need to be the fastest until the end of the race. As long as you can stay with the train, which Copy might not be able to do on the hards, honestly, but he's going to give it a go at least. As long as you can stay with the train, you're okay. And if you're faster at the end, that's what really matters, because that's when you can attack. But we'll see how this plays out. It's only, 6 drivers that have gone into the pits after that one. As you mentioned, the 2 teammates, or 2 sets of teammates, along with Pixel and Flesh River. Pixel probably has stolen a big march on the drivers ahead of him if he can keep those tires nice and fresh. It's a long pit lane at Silverstone. You lose a lot of time doing that, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I think this is... I mean, I think it was the right call to go into the pit lane. But I don't think it was the right call to go on hards. The pit lane costs 26 seconds or something around here, so that's how much you save by doing it on the safety car, so that's quite incredible. And the mediums probably end up at like 60-65% or something at the end of the race. Maybe even more if you run an unstable setup, but I would imagine that especially a driver with the caliber of Copy, and he's known for a smooth driving style, would not get into trouble, and Bailey gets into trouble because he's ignoring yellow flags, and that doesn't sound right, but he must have overtaken Pixel. Oh, what's... Oh,
lag issue then, is there?
Maybe that, or Flesh River passed him, and then... like, I had that happen with Cody once.
And then let them pass again. Yeah, Bailey's having all sorts of lag issues at the moment. So yeah, I'm guessing that that's what happened. It shouldn't matter, honestly. It's one of those where he won't have to pit again, probably, Bailey. So as long as he doesn't pit again, that will be removed. But certainly, those lag issues are going to be a problem for him if he keeps having them after the safety car period ends.
Now let's hope that in case they stay, they are a problem for him and not the drivers around him, because that's even more frustrating if you get taken out by someone else. But of course I hope that everything is going to go well for Bailey here. It's not fun to lag, because like for everyone else, one car's lagging, and for him, every car's lagging, so it's not fun to drive like that. But it looks like he's recovered. He doesn't jump around everywhere anymore.
Yeah, it seems to be solid enough at the moment, so fingers crossed that remains the case. So what are we looking for on the restart then? So we got Julian on the mediums, we got Pretorius on the mediums, a couple other drivers as well. Icewind Tipsy also on the mediums. Icewind in particular I think is going to be quite quick in this first stint, so we'll see if he can make the reverse strategy work. It is a problem, of course, if you started on the mediums, you can't pit for mediums and go to the end of the race. You have to...
wow. Everything's fine. I thought Bailey was gonna hit Flesh River. It's all fine. Yeah, so up front we got Gary and Astra, and it's gonna be about them trying to use those soft tires as good as they can. They can probably stretch them to like lap 12 or 13 with that safety. Was that a bump? Lap 12 or 13 under race conditions after having done the safety car, and then that time they need to catch up enough to make it worth it that they didn't pit on the safety car. And that's going to be their job. And the job of Copy is going to be hold on to JC, who's on softs, while you yourself, Copy in this case, are on hards. So yeah, and if Copy doesn't hold on, Danny, Yugos and Pixel might all be in trouble anyway. So we're going to go for the restart here. And I think Astro's already gone.
Yeah, he has.
And he has not gotten a big gap at all. This is like 3 or 4 tenths, which is not a lot. So Gary will basically just trail him and try to stick with him until we get some DRS in 3 laps of time.
Yep, and Justin having to defend from JQR as well into Village. He had to go a little bit defensive there. He's all over the back in that Alpha Tauri. So good restart from JQR. But yeah, as you mentioned up front, very close between the three of them. Gary is all over the back of Astro Boys in that Mercedes, and Gary with the slipstream advantage. Not much slipstream advantage in F1 2020, but there is some. So he will have a little bit of an advantage down the straight. Jensen as well keeping a close watch on that one, and Justin, that defensive move that he had to make really cost him. And yeah, Copy, as you mentioned, already falling off the back of JC. The gap over a second already.
Yeah, so now Danny will probably need to find a way past, as Copy's strategy doesn't look like it's gonna pay dividend at all, and he's got an angry Ferrari up his rear who will try and get past on the hangar straight, I imagine. But first of all, let's see if there's a move for the lead of this race, and it looks like there might be into Stowe. Gary gets the nose ahead, but it is a viable line on the outside, and that's exactly what Astro does. He gives Gary the inside, carries the momentum, and nicely defended from him. And further down the order, let's see. Danny didn't get past Copy, and it was important that he would. Even if he gets past now, before the DRS is there, he will
and
need
Jensen
to make
having a good look at Gary into turn one, and sending it down the inside there was Jensen. Very nice move from him. Gary having to yield on that one, using the battery when he didn't expect it there, Gary. And Jensen makes his way into P2. He's right on the edge of being out of DRS, and Danny now does get past Copy. Oh, they're still side by side. Copy defending it, and Copy does have the high ground now for the straight as well. No DRS yet.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, this might well be the net lead of the race, because they don't have to pit anymore, so Copy will want to wear Danny down, quite literally as well, because it's going to be tire wear for Danny if he fights a lot here. So this makes perfect sense, and he's worn him down in another way as Danny goes off in Brooklands, it is. No, wait, Luffield.
Exit of Luffield, yeah, he got a swapsy on the exit, couldn't quite save it. We got a VSC, and Danny, well, he'll be hoping for another safety car later on in the race, because that effectively is his race over unless there is some sort of a safety car. So disaster for Danny. We saw he was trying very hard there to pass Copy, just trying a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I mean, and a funny thing, it's not really funny for Danny, of course, but it is a meme among, like, Yugos and Danny especially, that Danny always gets stuck behind Copy. It always is Copy. In 2 SLR Rapid Race, it's always is Copy, and once again, it was Copy, and the same thing happened as it always does. Danny has made a mistake, and quite a costly one, as he drives around the track with a quite weird looking car, because that car, like, it doesn't have a nose. It looks weird.
Yeah, and Bryce and JC both taking the opportunity to dive into the pit lane. They're going to go for mediums to go to the end of the race. They'll have got a tiny bit of an advantage from pitting now under VSC, but not a huge one, honestly. So we're racing again. And nothing doing at the front. The gap between Tipsy now, who's the lead car who hasn't stopped, and Copy is over 2 seconds. Bailey on Hugo, looking into Brooklands. Hugo burned a lot of battery doing that, went deep in as well, and Bailey having a look around the outside. Hugo defending it for the time being, though.
Hugo doesn't look very comfortable in Brooklands today, and Pix almost shoving the young Brit of Bailey Thompson around that corner, but he's not getting past at all, so the Irishman stuck behind Bailey for a little longer. Bailey goes completely off track there. That might well have been a warning, but maybe he lifted enough. I do not know. As Yugos approaches the back of Copy, and I wonder if there's going to be any team orders. Honestly, probably no. But
no, they haven't been in the past. It's DRS now, though, because it wasn't a full safety car, so they don't have to wait the 2 laps. And Hugo, I think, will be in prime position here. Copy not going to defend it particularly hard, and Hugo down the inside into what may very well be the net lead of the race.
Yeah, and suddenly everything is turned upside down once again. I mean, after that safety car, I thought Danny's in an amazing position. He's looked faster through qualifying, of course. That's why. Wait, Jensen.
Battle for the lead. Yeah, I was gonna say we missed a pass for the lead there. Jensen on Astro Boys happened, I would guess, down the hangar straight last lap. Astro Boys all over the back of that Alpha Tauri, though, as they head up towards the back straight, the DRS straight. Jensen does not have the battery really to defend this. Well, he does for now. But Astro is just draining him of battery here, as Justin almost goes into the back of Gary as well in Brooklands. Left-hander. So through Luffield they go again. Jensen leading, but Astro with the advantage in terms of battery, and I would suspect he'll be back past before too much longer.
Yeah, even though there's already a little bit of a gap, and Dirty Air hits quite hard to some cars. Like, if you run an oversteer setup and you don't want to have Dirty Air at all in cops because it unsettles your car so much. So maybe Astro actually struggling to hang on to this and might fall victim to Gary, even though he's got the DRS still to defend. What I was gonna say, Yugos, after disappointing qualifying and a pretty poor start for his comparatively to what he normally does, he's in the net lead of the race basically, depending on how the strategy plays out. And Danny, who's looked so quick in qualifying, is just out of this. It's impressive how everything just somehow turns into the Yugos show week after week.
Big Way's lost the wheel! Oh my goodness, Justin, on the exit of the final corner, he got sideways and we have a safety car. Yeah, we have a safety car. So the second one of the race already on lap 8, and that was a big crash for Justin. He did basically what Danny did on the exit of Luffield. He got sideways and speared into the wall on the other side, turn left in a right-hander, and that will send you into the wall. He lost his wheel, and out of the race goes Justin.
Unfortunate premature end to this. I hope there was no other car involved, because
no, there wasn't.
Dramas never. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was on board with JQR at the time. It happened right in front of me, and yeah, he just lost it all by himself.
That is such a shame. What does this do for the strategy? It buys... Well, it kind of buys Copy more time, I guess? Because...
don't know.
In this time, Yugos can't...
because all of the soft runners now will pit, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. So they'll be on the back of those leaders. Icewin getting a penalty under safety car, which I don't quite know how that happened. But yeah, all of the soft runners are going to pit. It's terrible news, I think, for the medium runners who won't be able to pit unless they want to put the hards on to go to the end of the race, which they probably won't. But certainly now, with the tyre deltas being as they are, all of the soft runners do indeed pit. And a big checkup at the entry to pit lane.
Which suggests to me that he might... Wait. Will Copy go on softs?
No, he'll go on mediums, I would have thought.
But why didn't he in the first place? Did he just not have enough faith or something?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it might have been a mistake, or it might have been one of those gambits where you say, all right, I'm going to be slow for most of the race, but at the end of the race, I might be, quicker than those guys on mediums, and if I'm still with them, then I can fight them. But now, yeah, I think it's absolutely the right thing to do to go into fresh mediums. But my instinct says that it's bad news for those drivers who pitted at the first safety car, because they've all stayed out with the exception of Copy, and they are going to be on 6-lap older tyres to go to the end of the race now, with only a little bit of track position to protect them from Jensen and Gary and Astro Boys and all of those guys who have put the fresh mediums on, and that's a pretty big tyre disadvantage. 6 laps is nothing to sneeze at. That is quite a lot of wear as far as that is concerned. It'll be 10%, maybe 15% even, of wear that they'll have into the second half of this race, and that's an advantage that they'll have for the rest of the race.
I wonder what Pixel and Flash River are gonna do in this, because you say it's a disadvantage for the medium runs, but it's unquestionably Pixel and Flash River have gained through this. I think they came from just outside the top 10. They find themselves in P6 and 7, which after the pit stops will be P3 and 4. So
I mean they've gained at the moment. Yeah, I mean it's a complete disaster for the medium runners, absolutely.
For Julian and Pretorius for sure, and Tipsy. But I mean the ones who are already pitted in the first safety car. I think it's Pixel and Flash River, it's fine. Yugos and Bailey, I'm not so sure.
Well, there's no way they hold those positions though, right? With all those fast boys behind them on fresh tires. They're just gonna drop like a stone.
But I think this is better than better than just being 14th or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna be 14th. Eventually. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't think it matters very much. it matters versus those drivers who haven't pitted yet, who started on mediums.
Also,
they're certainly ahead of those.
call me crazy because you probably have a point, but I think Copy should have gone for softs. Because I think he's gonna like.
For what? 14, 15 laps?
Yes.
Nah.
No, I mean,
Too many laps.
I made 12 laps, and I think I had, what was it, 50%? So he can do, like, Copy can do 15 without getting over, like.
Yeah, but is it
64
better
something.
though? Are the softs going to be faster than the mediums at the end of the race? Again, that's the question.
Well, no.
It's yeah, exactly. So being on the mediums in that case is what you want to be on, because you want to be fast at the end of the race. Unless you can pull away,
Well,
and passing however many cars it is, 14 cars, and then pulling away on the soft tires is a hugely tall order. I think the medium is better, because you want to be fast at the end of the race, not at the end of the stint, not at the beginning of the stint.
we come to the inevitable conclusion of Copy shouldn't have pitted for hard.
Icewind has gone softs though.
He will
Which,
prove my point. He will probably
Hmm.
get into the top 10, then drop out again, and then be last with penalties. That was me. No, I mean, I think
I
he can-
suspect. That almost feels like it was a mistake, putting the softs on. Did he? Oh, he started on mediums. That's
Yes.
why he did it. Okay, yeah. So it wasn't a mistake. So he's gambling on either another safety car or something weird happening, I would suspect.
Well, maybe. I mean, Copy and Iceman are basically both out of contention for everything in this race because of their strategy. So you know, you might as well do something insane. Might work.
I don't know if that. I mean, I don't know if that's true in Copy's case. He's got a big DRS train to make his way through.
It's 11
but,
spots from Hugo.
I don't know. I feel like there's some chaos coming at this restart, because we got a bunch of cars on old tires who haven't. Oh, Julian bolted
Yeah.
very, very early. He got a big jump on Pretorius. He's got a lead of almost a second already. So good stuff from Julian. But we got a bunch of drivers at the front on old tires. We got a bunch of drivers at the back on fresh tires, and Hugo already having a good look at the back of Tipsy's rear end as they head into the first couple of corners.
Not much of a tire gap between those, so this is pure speed and, well, pure speed.
Flesh River already falling down, being overtaken by two cars already,
It's-
Jensen and Gary.
It's okay. Okay, you were right, it's fine. Damn it. This guy, am I right?
I'm sorry, little one.
Hey! Hugo's still on the back.
Astro on Flesh River as well into Brooklands. So he makes his way up through, and it's just very, very important. As I said, we're going to get some chaos here. Icewind up the inside of JQR. Icewind on the soft tires. He's going to have the traction on the exit of Luffield. So he makes that move stick as well. Further up front, Hugo has still not dealt with Tipsy, and Tipsy is out of range now of Pretorius as well. Tipsy does drive a wide car, we know that. He's not an easy man to pass.
Oh! Gets a little bit deep into Beckett's there, and it's still not enough for you guys to pass. I actually want to know how much battery is
Tipsy
using?
emptied his battery. He's on
dear.
38%, less than a lap after the restart.
You get to be right about Flash River, but I will be right about Icewind, okay? He's got
Yeah, maybe.
picked another one off. He's got
Making progress.
Oh,
Light Cruiser
Light
up the
Cruiser,
inside of Flesh River, yeah.
He's got now. Okay, you were right. God damn it. So Icewind.
Oh, Hugo on Tipsy does get the move down. Exit at turn one. Oh, didn't really leave the space on the exit either. Tipsy hanging his car in there. And Bailey having a good look as well. Tipsy obviously not particularly happy with that. He was quite aggro there, was Tipsy, as Gary passes Pixel further down. Bailey now going to have a good look at Tipsy as well into Brooklands. He can have a go here. Yes, he is. He sends one up the inside and he makes it stick very nicely indeed. So Bailey up to P4.
Yeah, even Tipsy can't defend that one on first you
But
guys,
look at
then, but
look
now,
at where Jensen is. Jensen's on fresh tires. He's got a big tire advantage on the guys directly ahead of him. He's not lost any touch at all with either Bailey or Hugo, as Pixel gets himself 3 seconds worth of penalties.
and now Jensen will probably be the next one to pick off the poor Tipsy. And, well, Tipsy probably doesn't even have much in his battery, even though he's still holding his own. I wonder if Jensen's even gonna get alongside. That would need to be a very committed lunge, and it didn't happen. But maybe now into Club.
There he
Tipsy
goes.
didn't defend that properly, so now Jensen's just gonna take the inside, and he squeezes onto the curb, and
Oh,
down
no.
he goes. But this is damage control for what usually happens to Jensen's races, so it's only 5 spots dropped. Okay, it's.
Yeah, a little bit ambitious there, Jensen. He didn't really have position there, and he was kind of hoping that Tipsy was going to give him it, but Tipsy in no mood to yield at the moment. He's not giving anybody anything in this race, and he's got Gary behind him now. He's going to try and do the same thing, and there's a big bottle, a sort of cork in the bottle here with Pixel, who's got 4 very angry cars behind him. One of them is Icewind, and he's passing Light Cruiser now up the inside.
Yeah, so he's getting another one, so he's made... Oh, actually, no, he's not. There's a little bit of contact there. Both cars aren't in full control, and under full control, and now maybe with the grip. Oh, no! Light Cruiser just not giving him that much room. It was still probably within the realms of the possible, but still, like Icewind will not be happy.
Bailey getting a penalty there is a big deal as well. So Bailey with 3 seconds worth of penalties. We'll keep across those as best we can. Pixel still holding all of those cars up directly behind him. Jensen all over the back of Icewind. Icewind now, I think, is going to get the move done here. He runs into the back of Light Cruiser there. Didn't judge the distance properly, and Light Cruiser not yielding to Icewind, who's on much better tyres, of course. Astro Boys goes up the inside of Pixel, and Icewind again having a look.
Oh no, he's not getting past. So, oh, but Jensen just absolutely flying by. I did not see that one coming as either.
Oh,
and he's taking 2 for 1, or is he? No, he's gonna be put offline. So maybe Icewind can take revenge. Already breaks late and deep into that corner, and he's gotten the move on Jensen back. So Icewind not done with this, gives Light Cruiser a little bit of a laugh tap, and maybe now he's running low on battery soon. He needs to get this pass done now, and I think it's finally a done deal. He just drives so close to that McLaren. I think he could give himself more space, and then he would have been passed earlier, but that finally happened. And
yep, I think so too.
Set his sails and hunt after Pixel.
And while all of that was happening, Gary making the move on Light Cruiser gets another 3 seconds. He's up to 6. Gary passing Tipsy there up the inside into Brooklands as well down the Wellington Straight. So Tipsy obviously fighting, but no answer there for Gary. And Gary is on much better tyres than the cars ahead of him. And what, 2.6 seconds off what is now the net lead of the race, in the shape of Hugo, as Icewind will pass Pixel here with DRS. Pixel does not have DRS.
Yeah, so that is an easy move for a change for Icewind. The gap is 1.4 to Astro. Wonder how far he can get before these softs start to cry.
And a huge train again behind Icewind right now. 9th all the way down to the last driver still in the race at the moment. Triton, who is in P18. So that's 10 cars as Flesh River cuts the inside of turn 1, gets himself 3 seconds.
And Yugos has also, well, caught up to the back of Julian, who himself is taking the DRS from Pretorius. I expect those guys to pit fairly soon, because they are definitely just losing time now. They will want to get softs. On the other end, they'll be so far back, might as well just hope for safety car, I don't know.
And Copy trying to pass Flesh River. Copy has kept most of his battery.
But JQR comes back at him for Copy taking a weird approach to that corner, and now he will have to respect the AlphaTauri. He's just getting himself clear of him, so almost lost the position there. It's really tough to overtake someone when you've got someone else behind you, and Copy just felt that.
Yep, certainly is, but he did manage to hold JQR off. Danny as well is on the back of this train, trying to make his way through. He's on slightly older tyres, but certainly he's going to be going for it. So the situation is Jensen and Light Cruiser once again, the 2 Dutchmen side by side into Stowe. Jensen gets the place, and Copy does indeed pass Flesh River for P12.
And Light Cruiser gets back at Jensen though, around the outside in Club, I believe that must have been. Jensen still got one in though. That was an Albon moment. That was Albon.
Yeah.
And that is the wall for Jensen, and oh no. Well,
Yeah, Jensen certainly racy today, maybe a little bit too racy because a couple of times now he's put his nose in where he probably shouldn't, and he retires or he leaves the session. I wonder if that's a rage quit from Jensen.
no.
So that might be the end of his race. Maybe something has happened. Icewind up the inside of Tipsy on those soft tires.
That's a net P5 for Icewind, as of now. He's got Hugo Bailey, Gary and Astro ahead of himself. Those are the guys that will make the end. So, well, I wonder what's going to happen towards the end of the race. Are the likes of Light Cruiser and Copy going to be able to catch back up with Icewind and overtake him when his softs fall off the cliff? Where are Pretorius and Julian going to end up? Those are the questions I have concerning Icewind's race. He's made his way through the order well, though.
Yeah, and the issue... Yeah, he has. He's all the way up to P7.
Oh, that's Danny going for a move there in the background.
It's a net big deal.
You're lagging out a little bit, I'm sorry. Danny has made the pass on JQ and Tipsy. Caught off guard by that 60 km/h pit lane. It's done on Lewis Hamilton, so that's a penalty for Tipsy Bob. He was in a bad position anyways because of the strategy. Started on mediums, didn't pay off at all with all the early race carnage.
Yep, absolutely right. 10. Oh, I've lost connection to Steam, sorry.
Julian has also gone for the pit lane as to be expected, and look, this is such a painful pit lane. I cannot give you an invite, unfortunately, because it's invite only, and I can't tab out. So that's brilliant. So Julian is now just off the back of everyone, honestly. So and the same is going to happen to Pretorius, and I don't think they're going to be much of a factor in this race, to be honest, which is quite a shame. It's just a strategy you can never see. You know, you never know what's going to happen with the safety cars, and in this case, this happened, and it wasn't amazing. I think Gary just picked up a warning. For sure he must have. He completely went off track there. And he's still hunting for Bailey, though, who has got a penalty himself. So, Joey C with one in the meantime, and then looks like Gary is getting the move done. He's now P2 in this race. Well, net P2 in this race, because Pretorius has got 26 seconds he will need to spend driving through the pit lane. I actually think he might be waiting for a safety car, because there's no other way. Like, there's no point. Why else would he stay out? And if you compare Pretorius and Julian, who were running with each other before the pit stop of Julian, they are 30 seconds from each other. So this pit lane probably costs you, like, I don't know, 28 seconds? It's even more than I thought. So that's what Pretorius got ahead of himself, and it doesn't look good. So you can enjoy the prestige of leading this race for a few laps, but this will fade away as soon as he heads into the pit lane, and I expect that to be soon.
I can't get back in at all now, can I? Because
maybe
that's
someone. Maybe you can ask Tipsy, because Tipsy's 6 seconds off the back of Jensen.
Nah, Tipsy's still driving. I'm not going to do that.
Was that
I can watch your stream and maybe commentate. I don't know. It's only a delay of like a second or so.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna be even more uncontested play-by-play commentator then, because with the delay it doesn't work, unfortunately. So Copy's gotten past Light Cruiser as well. Why did no one leave an invite for you? Oh god. And Copy's actually looking at Pixel now. He looks for the outside in Stowe, and with that DRS overspeed, he might get that one done! Pixel is round! And I have no clue whose fault that was. I'm not gonna try and judge that, because I don't have, my footage isn't good enough for that, but it is unfortunate for Pixel as it demotes him to P15. And, well, those tires were bad. Now they are worse. So, that's not good.
Yeah, Pixel with the big struggle in this race. He's been contested. Oh, as he has a big moment there in the exit of the last corner. He's had a big part to play in this race, but yeah, I think it's pretty much over for him now. Pretorius still yet to pit, of course, so the net leader is Hugo, and Bailey still labouring to get past, or sorry, still labouring to hang on to the back of Gary. Gary trying to catch Hugo, 2.5 seconds the gap with, 8 laps to go. And that is going to be an interesting one by the end of the race. Gary, I think, will feel that he is in a really good position to win this one.
Danny, after his crash in Woodcote, I think it was in Woodcote, right? Got himself
it was.
back into the... Well, he got bailed out by the safety car a little bit. Now his tires are worse than the tires of the guys around him, but his pace seems to be better. As the next guy is Light Cruiser, and I think he might just have the pace advantage there. I wonder how far this is going to bring him. It's of course not what he wanted after that stunning pole position, but he's got to take what he's getting. And after Light Cruiser, who's not spent any ERS, and that is actually a clean move for Danny, I think, on the outside of Light Cruiser. He is ahead, so that was beautifully executed from him. After that, Danny faces Copy, and you know, the meme might continue. I hope it doesn't for Danny's sake, but it would be fun.
Yeah, Danny with that pace is pretty scary. He's on older tires than Light Cruiser, 5 lap older, and he's still giving it everything he possibly can. We had the fastest lap of the race as JQR gets himself 3 seconds. Fastest lap of the race from Hugo on those old tires, so he's pushing for all he's worth at the moment up front. He's got a 7-lap tire disadvantage. A lot of those laps are under safety car, of course, so it's less than that in reality, but there are 7 laps to go, and Hugo will want to hang on as long as he possibly can. Gary not really making inroads at the moment.
Yeah, it's I mean, we don't have an option but to just wait and see what happens with that gap. And as someone's off, and I think that's Flash River and Price Evolution. Yeah, both of them are around in Brooklyn. God damn it. Woodcote, Luffield, that's the one. This is Woodcote. I don't know what happened there, but it probably got together. Cars don't just spin like that, especially not 2 in the same corner in the same lap. That just doesn't happen. And Icewind's got the next one. So those softs carrying to P4 for now. Actually, brilliant recovery drive from last on the grid. He's not set a lap in qualifying, and now he is on the soft tires.
Yeah, absolutely right. I wonder, I'm just going to see if Mr. Icewind is doing the big stream. He's not, unfortunately, so I can't see exactly what his tires are at, but he's going to be trying to go to the end of the race at the very least. I wonder if he's going to make it. He's got another 6 laps to do. The softs look like they're in good shape at the moment.
Yellows, and what happened? Julian? What's Julian do? Yeah, okay. Julian's just parked. What's he doing? What's Pretorius? Oh, he probably killed Pretorius and now he waited for him or something. Well, Pretorius is pitted in the meantime, and well, that as if the pit stop wasn't bad enough, that cost even more time. Bryce also in for another pit stop, so they are gonna trade last place here amongst themselves. And Yugos is faster than Gary. Gap extended by 4/10 since we spoke about it last time.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Hugo with the pace, and he is really in the zone today. We saw in qualifying he wasn't really able to do a particularly special lap, but he certainly has the race pace, and yeah, he's extended the gap by half a second or so this time around. Whether Gary's made a mistake, I don't know, but no, Gary's going as fast as he ever has, so I just wonder if I mean, I can't really explain this. I wouldn't expect Gary to be this much slower than Hugo. Maybe Hugo turned his engine up or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, he's low on battery, but not as low as Gary.
Another fastest lap.
Yeah. He's probably gonna take the fastest lap point as well, unless some Pretorius or Julian might just take this one. So yeah, I mean, it's looking like a brilliant performance from you guys once again, even though he kind of bottled qualifying this time. Race seems to be a different story. Can you check? Oh, you can't. Never mind.
Nope, I can't.
Oh no. There's also a little bit of a train going on here between Flash River and Pixel, and Flash River is now going to look towards the inside of Pixel, and he makes that one stick. Those are the two, oh, actually Pixel is still coming back at him on the inside of Luffield. Ha, nailed it this time, and they're going to run side by side through Woodcote, and I wonder what JQR is going to do. He might make it 3 wide here. That would be absolutely crazy. The AlphaTauri gets alongside as Pixel takes the lead in that little group for P10. It's the last point they are fighting over. So Pixel P10, Flash River 11, JQR 12, and behind him is Light Cruiser. Tire advantage, of course, for JQR and Light Cruiser. And they've got, well, 4 more laps to do it.
Yep, absolutely right. Ocean said in chat, Icewind on 50% tyres. I don't know when that was, whether that was a few minutes ago. But certainly they are going to be suffering, and I just wonder, we've seen a couple of times in the past, Icewind has pushed his tyres, in Austria notably, all the way to the puncture territory, and he got a puncture in Austria, and I just wonder if he's going to get one here today as well. He's on course for a pretty good finish. He has some penalties, but overall it's a pretty good finish for Icewind, this, as Hugo continues to extend the gap from Gary, and I just wonder how this is happening. It's really, really impressive.
I feel like, you know, for my ego's sake, I need to point one thing out, okay? You were right about Pixel and Flash. Oh, what? Where did Light Cruiser come from? Okay. Doesn't want to let me talk. He just takes that open door as an invitation and goes through. So Light Cruiser is now in P12. It's just past JQR. Anyways, I concede you were right about Pixel and Flash River, and I was wrong. But I was right about the softs, okay? Unless something terrible happens.
Well, yeah, there's still 4 laps to go, and obviously in the end of the race is the prime time for any sort of an issue that he has. But certainly he's as fast as Bailey at the moment in front, so he is in a really good position. We got 3 laps to go as they cross the line here, and if those tires can hold out, Icewind is in a very good position in this race. He is going to get some very good points, and yeah, the softs will have worked out for him if that was the case.
Yeah, well, I mean, the comparison is copy, of course, because they're pitted on the same lap, one for softs, one for mediums. Everything that happened is Icewind got out of copy, and then he built a 4.6 second gap. So, I mean, I imagine that's going to come down a little bit over the last 3 laps. So, like, I think 3 seconds or something will be the advantage, unless... Well,
it is a comparison, but it's worth remembering, of course, that Icewind didn't have the option to go onto mediums. He started on mediums.
Yes.
So he had to either go on softs or hards. That was his choice, and he went on softs. So given that, and he's falling a little bit off Bailey now, he's lost half a second or so in the first half of this lap. Given that, the softs might have been the best he could do.
I mean, for sure they were. If you look at where Julian and, well, everyone who let the opportunity pass, Julian and Pretorius were the guys who had the same strategy as Icewind. So, you know, he definitely made the right call, because unless he gets a puncture and crashes out of this race, this is going to be a better result than what Pretorius and Julian are getting.
Yep, absolutely right. So 4.4 is the gap up front. Looks like a done deal to me. Hugo, even with the older tyres, is quite considerably faster than Gary, and this has been a very, very impressive second half of the race from the championship leader, showing why he is the championship leader. We get yellows in Sector 1. That is a spun Julian. The
resurgence has to wait one more round. Didn't happen today, really. So, yeah, that's unlucky for him.
So lap and a half to go. What are we looking for? We're still looking at Icewind and his tyre situation. And he is still running competitive lap times. We've got this battle down here for 10, 11, 12. Pixel, Flesh River, Light Cruiser. This is for the last point. I don't think Light Cruiser is actually in this battle because he has a few penalties. Not exactly sure about the others, but certainly these two will be fighting each other. Icewind's tyres are 62%, so they are going to make the end of the race. And yeah, that certainly makes you right about Icewind. So +1 for Timo.
Light Cruiser on the inside of Flesh River there, but he didn't get that one done. But now he throws it in the inside of Luffield. There's no space, and Flesh River goes round, and he gets caught by Light Cruiser. But oh no, he doesn't. Oh no. Well, okay.
All a little bit unnecessary. Light Cruiser just putting a car on the inside there with no real chance of making that work unless he turned him around, which is what happened. So yeah, Light Cruiser has been in the wars this race. He's gotten himself a few penalties. He's not going to get any points other than perhaps some penalty points from the FIA.
Robot Terror spitting some straight facts. That laugh does sound really robotic, even more so. Flesh River's also gone round once more. I mean, those tires are going to be at the boiling point now. Well, I mean, obviously, but Yeah, they gotta be more than 100 degrees. That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, Bailey is closing in on Gary actually, but Bailey's got a pen and Gary doesn't, right? From your memory.
Bailey certainly has at least one penalty, maybe two.
And Gary doesn't.
And I've not seen one from Gary, so if he has, then yeah, Bailey has at least 6 seconds, says Ocean. But yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Yeah, he's probably falling down the order. We could be looking at Astro Boy's podium here.
We're looking at, yeah, probably that, because Icewind has got at least one penalty. And, well, we saw that one on the safety car. I don't remember seeing another one since then, but it might have happened. But now the tires come back to bite him, and Astro Boy swings it around his outside, and that was nothing like Icewind could have done about that one. And that was beautifully done from Astro, and Yugos finished that. Oh no, Icewind! My god! Icewind!
Giving it plenty at the end. He did jump Bailey there, so he did get that. Oh, Copy gets P3 by 300ths of a second. So Copy with the podium, and the Williams boys turn what was looking like a difficult afternoon into a double podium finish. Astro Boys just with the penalty there at the end, falling just barely behind Copy, and Icewind finishing P5. Danny with a very good recovery drive to P6, and that was a fun race. I enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, I just got a heart attack watching Icewind in the last corner. I gotta admit that I was really scared.
But he might have known that it was close with Copy, and he might have been pushing for that reason. But yeah, he did almost drop it. So
well, it wasn't particularly close for him. It was 5/10.
Yeah, it was 5/10.
That's close, but you don't gain that in one corner.
Yeah. But like, it's one of those where you want to be pushing to the end just in case the other guy makes a mistake. Like it's, I can see the rationale behind pushing. Put it that way.
Yeah, I guess. And he held on, so nothing to criticize there. So another really dominant win, honestly, by Hugo, and another really good podium from Gary is slowly turned himself from top of the midfield to one of the regular visitors of the podium ceremony. So that's really good to see from him. Today wasn't enough. Hugo's was just a little bit too fast. But Gary can certainly take positives away from this race. And Copy, well, he's gonna absolutely kick himself for that decision to go on hards there, because that was really unnecessary. I don't know how that happens, how that happened in his case. It's annoying for him for sure, but still,
yeah,
good try for the podium.
I mean, it feels like it was probably a mistake. He probably just selected the wrong tires, something like that. Maybe used the default setup option and didn't change it in the screen or something like that. But yeah, certainly he will be kicking himself. He a very good recovery drive to P3. Having said that, and yeah, I think that's. I mean, it was who's going to be our driver of the day. I'm just thinking who could be our driver. I think there are a couple of contestants. Like Hugo, obviously, every week we say that his drive is probably driver of the day worthy. But he wins every race anyway, so I don't know about giving it to him. Astro Boys with a very good performance, qualified 4th, finished 4th, very solid race, not really much to criticize at all, didn't really make any mistake. Icewind qualified at the back, I think because he wanted the medium tires or something, made that soft stint work. So yeah, he's another one. What do you reckon?
I think out of those I would probably pick Icewind, because
yeah,
I think
so too.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy decision was questionable. I wasn't 100% certain that was gonna work. I just thought, I would do it, because you might as well try it. Like, I wasn't convinced that was the best strategy decision, and it, took some bravery to do it, and he's done exactly what he needed to do to make this strategy work, which is absolutely slice through that field with a DRS train. He still managed to do it really well, and he only picked up 1 penalty, and I think he can be proud of himself after that race, so I would give it to him, even though Yugos and Astro, as you say, 2 very worthy honorable mentions for me.
Yeah, and worth mentioning as well that he only picked up the penalty, or he picked up the penalty before the second safety car. I think it was during the second safety car period actually,
Yeah.
that he got the penalty. So that drive through the field that he did was completely penalty free. So yeah, I think he's a worthy driver of the day. P5 in a very good. With a very good performance, a very good strategy that he made work. He was forced onto the soft tires. He knew that he was forced onto the soft tires. The other drivers who started on mediums didn't change onto the soft tires in the pits, and they paid the penalty because none of them scored any points. So yeah, good stuff from Icewind.
Well, and now I think we go on to the end of this broadcast, which is, as always, the interviews. I just made that sound really weird, don't I? I made it sound
How
like
is the? How is the? Yeah, I thought you were ending the stream.
I realize that's what's saying it, but
how is my mic doing? It's making. I think it's making some weird noises, which I
you're
think
trying
means
to
it's
throw
almost
me
out of
under the
battery.
bus, aren't you?
No. I mean, we can. Well, let's talk to Icewind because he is our driver of the day, and he very much deserves driver of the day. That was a really impressive drive, and I guess the first question is, how screwed did you think you were when that safety car came out, and did you think the softs would make it? Is he not there? Or is he muted?
Are you even there? Okay, yes.
Aha, he was muted. There we go.
Yeah, well, there was no choice. It was either they make it to the end or they don't, and I get a puncture. But so I tried it. I knew it's possible, maybe with the good tire management, which I wasn't really able to do in the first 10 laps on those softs, but because I had to fight like every single car in the field. And yes, in chat, Hugo is saying that driver of the day should be Hugo's, and I completely agree with that because.
Well, I did say that. Yeah, I mean, it was another
Yeah.
fantastic performance from Hugo, and basically every week he puts in a driver of the day worthy performance, which is he wins every race, so he's the driver of the day from that perspective. But yeah, we tried to mix it up a little bit. So yeah.
Well, I think it's undeserved. I didn't set a lap time in quali because there was some Haas car. I think Justin's car was desynced for me the whole time, so I think he didn't actually see me, and I didn't I saw he crashed, I think, in the race, but I didn't even see his car, so I don't know what on earth was going on there. He blocked me twice, the AI in the disconnected car in quali, and I didn't get out.
Yeah.
And then
I'm guessing that was desync.
Yeah. Yes, it was a red cross on his car, so nothing that he could really do about that. Yeah, I wasn't really in the best of spirits after having to start in P20 and then all those safety cars, which just really further annoyed me and angered me. And then I kind of, the second safety car, it was either go on the softs or the hards. The hards are not an option on this track, so I had to go on the softs. I had a fresh set, which probably saved me at the end because I think I had 76 or 75% on the final lap there. And yeah, I just couldn't defend from Astro Boys there on the final lap. I had absolutely no battery from having to drive almost the entire race without DRS. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
bit of a.
That's fair enough. I mean, having said that, I mean you were the only one of the people who started on medium to actually recognize that you had no choice and to go onto the softs, because a bunch of the other drivers, all of the other drivers, in fact, who started on mediums didn't change tires at all under the safety car, and they all paid the penalty for it. So you were the only one to recognize that of those 4 drivers.
Yeah, I guess so. I just knew that the hards are not going to be an option, and I was what was it, lap 8 or whatever it was. I had to pit for those softs, and I knew you can do at least 15 laps on them. But yeah, doing 18 or 19 or whatever the lap count was at that point was a bit of a stretch, but I got them to the end somehow. Yeah, and then I got the one penalty I got was a really stupid one. I dodged the car and got a penalty for that, but whatever. I don't really care. I think
only one penalty.
Yeah, I think I got a warning there on the final lap, so I would have got that penalty anyway, so no point contesting that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, from our perspective, it was certainly a very good drive, and with those issues in qualifying, to recover
Frustrating
recover
anyways.
in the race like that. And I think the the strategy didn't really work out for you in terms of the safety car timing.
No,
It certainly could
but
have been a lot better for you. So you made a very good result out of a really a really difficult situation for you. So I think that there's that argument to say that the driver of the day is deserved.
yep. If you guys choose to give it to Hugo, I'll be fine with that. I really don't want it for this. But
Well, we've already given it to you, so you got it whether you want it or not.
Okay. Thanks. I suppose I'll try to take it. I'm still not very happy with how that turned out in the total, but
well,
yeah,
we got Hungary next. So how are you feeling about Hungary? Is that a nice win track?
I'm not here next week, and I've got my friend's wedding on that day, so
okay.
I will miss that. But it's definitely.
Fair
I did okay last season from like P13 to P2 on track, but then I had a penalty ended up P4 or something. But yeah, it's
okay. So I guess the next race for you is Spa.
SLR, yeah.
I know you're fast at Spa because I've seen you drive there before.
To
I've
see in
driven
this
against
game
you there before, in fact. So yeah.
It's always a bit of the game is different, so we'll have to see how it works out for me.
Yeah. Well, good stuff today. I mean, I know you said you're not very happy with the way today turned out, but it's still a very good result, and we certainly enjoyed. It certainly mixed up the race for us, having you on a completely different strategy to everyone else. So good stuff. We certainly we're glad to have you in the race, and you did a good job from our perspective. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, that was Icewind. We're going to bring in Mr. Cody's can't code is Bailey, right?
Yeah.
It is Bailey. There we go. All right. Yeah, Bailey with what was a pretty eventful race, I guess, from your perspective. Let me just remind myself exactly what. Yeah, so you pitted lap 1 basically, and took the mediums to the end. So you had the track position, but it was difficult, and you had a few of the penalties as well. So you had a really good result, sort of scuppered by penalties, and it was still an okay result. But how was it from your perspective?
I mean, it was okay. Qualifying wasn't great. It was only P9, I think, 24.6. I done a 24.2 in practice before, so I could have been further up there. I got a really good start. I got up to P6 before the safety car came out, and then I pitted. Then I was just trying to stick with the people that I'd pitted as well, so sticking with Hugo and Danny. And then Danny spun with Copy. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, the 5-second penalty for the under the safety car, I think it was lap 2. I've already reported it, trying getting it removed because I didn't overtake anyone. I just got a penalty.
Oh yeah, I'd completely forgotten about that. Yeah, we saw that at the time. We figured that would probably be removed. It was you were lagging on our screen. I don't know if you were. If that's what was happening for you.
On my screen, Bryce was completely desynced.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And so I overtook him. Apparently, I got in the game and got a 5-second penalty. I think without the 5-second penalty, I think I'm P4, maybe P5, but we'll see. I'll have a look in the stream and see what the gaps are. But yeah, I think once Gary got past me, I just sort of stuck with him, trying to build a gap to Astra and Hugo, so maintain it, and I did that really.
Yeah. No, it was good, and yeah, I'm just looking at the results, and yeah, if you get the you're just barely ahead of Icewind if you get the 5 seconds removed.
So is that P4?
So P5.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just a few hundredths ahead of Icewind. Yeah, that's I mean that's still a very strong result. And yeah, you had pretty good pace on those mediums. I guess you were in a DRS train for most of it, behind people who are on better tires than you. So yeah, I'd say you probably maximized the result there. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I think the podium's getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get it next week though.
Yeah, Hungary next week. How's Hungary for you? I feel like that'd probably be a good track for you. It's very technical, big flow to it. How are you feeling about that?
Not too bad. I've done all right there in the past, so I haven't really driven it that much on this game though. So I'll have to do a lot more testing and setup work. But We'll see how it goes next week. I think it could be a good race. Very hard to overtake there.
Yeah, it is. There's just the front straight, and that's basically it. So you get one chance every lap, and if you blow it, then you got to wait a whole lap. So yeah, it's a fun track. I enjoy Hungary a lot.
Mm.
But yeah, but well done. In any case, any shout outs you want to give before we speak to Mr. It's Codemaster, aka Triton?
OP Gary for the slipstream, all the way at the end of the race.
Yeah, he gave you a big boost there at the end. That was nice of him.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Bailey. Well done for the result.
Yep.
I'm going to drag you into there, and we're going to drag Mr. Breton into the commentator's booth. That was a pretty good result. Try. Didn't see you much on stream, but certainly you got the job done in that race. How was it for you?
Oh, I thought I blew it big time.
Oh, yeah.
Something that I'm used to doing. But what happened was on the safety car restart, I was getting kind of swamped in, and I was trying to play it safe this race because I know I'm not as fast as some of these guys. So I was just trying to stick with it and stay in the train. But at moments, people were kind of coming at me, and I didn't want to, get in any incidents or anything or risk losing too much time. So I was kind of letting people go, playing a bit too safe maybe. But then at the latter part of the race, when I lost, I think like 6 places in like 2 corners, and I was, I think, last place of the runners, so like P18 or something, or P17 before everyone pit, and it's kind of a lot of stuff happened up front.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, what happened there? Did you just get like freight trained? Was that the?
Well, copy overtook me, and I guess we made a bit of contact. Looking back, I'm not sure if it might not have been anything major or anything, but when we made contact, I kind of got sideswiped, and so I lifted off to kind of just let him go. And by doing that, like 3 other people got me, and then Danny and Bryce and JC, all 3 got me afterwards as well. And I kind of nearly lost. I kind of lost out on the DRS after that because I made another mistake under braking. But then after that, I just began to get my head down and push on. And after that, like everyone began to have issues. So like I'm pretty sure like 6 drivers in front of me like either spun out or got into incidents, and then a few others pit. So
yeah. I mean, well, there was the people who started on mediums had to pit, so they were all quite a long way behind you. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought they would catch up to me at the end, but I think a couple of them were behind Pixel, so I'm not too sure what happened there. But all I know
think
is
there was an incident. I think Julian and Pretorius got in an incident. I think that's what happened to them.
Oh, okay, yeah. But regardless, I was kind of just, like I said, playing it safe kind of worked out in the end because I just kind of kept driving. I was pushing because I was trying to keep with the DRS, or also break the DRS from JC when I got past him, because he made a slight mistake as well. And yeah, I just began just doing what I needed to do, just putting in fast laps as I could. So even, I mean, the safety cars helped with the tire wear, but yeah, I'm really happy because I think I drove well at the last part of the race after I made, I don't think I was doing very well in the beginning, but the last part I was happy with. So
yeah, and you were still there to pick up the pieces when other people fell off. You only got 1 penalty as well, which is a pretty strong performance.
Yeah, again, like in 2S last week, I got a really dumb penalty. I did it again, so this time I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let this one ruin me. So luckily they had JC had a penalty behind me, otherwise I would have lost that P8. But
yeah, we were saying in commentary at the beginning of this race that like Silverstone is one of those tracks where you don't really gain anything from cutting it, so it usually is just not quite being precise enough with your car. Yeah. So it's just if you're not quite precise with your car, then you'll pick up warnings, and generally that means that most drivers pick up like 1 penalty, but not many more than that. Because they're just mistakes basically. And that's pretty much what happened. I think all of you guys towards the back end of the top 10 had exactly one penalty.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy though with that. Like I'm happy. I haven't scored since Vietnam, so it's been that was only P10. So this is only the 2nd time I've scored this season. But I'm slowly making my way back here because I mean it's I mean 8 in the morning here in California.
Yeah. Well, it's I mean it's sort of early in the day for me, but yeah, it's quite a bit earlier in the day for you. So yeah, it's quite some commitment.
Yeah, I don't have some idiots what is it? Commitment. Yeah, he wakes up at 6 for this stuff. I can't do that. But yeah.
Somehow I always
Well-
get setups from him at 5 a.m. and then I just I ask him because I want him to answer like 5 hours, and then he just instantly comes back at him, and I just say, "What? Why are you up so early? Isn't it 5 a.m.?" And he just responds, "Yes." So okay.
Yeah, I only get up at that time for to watch the quali or in real life or something. That's just, and even today I watched like 30 minutes and I just went back to sleep. So yeah, I have to struggle. It's a struggle to get up for this race, but sometimes it's worth it. So, and it's if the results like this keep coming and I'm able to get luck like that, it makes me a lot more motivated. So let's hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good to see you sort of, putting in performances like that in these races. It's as you mentioned, it's been a few races sort of where you've been quite upset after the race and you felt like you've made a mistake. But today, I think, I mean, some small mistakes, but big picture, it was a good performance.
Thank you guys. Let's hope I repeat tomorrow, Timo. Yes.
Well, you guys have. Well, I mean, you guys are in trouble because there's a multiple podium finisher in tier 3 coming to tomorrow's race as well.
I think we're gonna be in trouble. So, yeah, the Twister Terror on the pad. Yeah.
But to be fair, I beat the guy in a straight fight in the same canisters.
Exactly, completely fair fight. Yeah,
a very fair fight. No, there was no no third party incidents happening there in real life that could influence the result.
You did not need to fly to the US, so it's on you and not my fault. Okay?
That's true. That's true.
Flying to the US gives you half a tenth of a second, so I mean.
But it also costs you like 8 months of your lifetime.
It also costs you a lot.
Even more if you eat the local food. Anyway.
The costs are high, the results are worth it.
Yeah. I live in Southern California. I can vouch for that. Okay, but thank you guys for having me. I'll let you guys continue.
All right. Well, thanks, Triton, thanks for talking to us.
Tomorrow.
Triton. Tomorrow.
You better have good luck.
You too can see the tier 3 multiple podium winner, multiple podium finisher in action, along with all of the other drivers who don't matter quite so much. In 2SRL Tier 1. There we go.
That's incredibly rude. Are we not talking to the others? Or what?
Are we not talking what, sorry?
Oh, no, you... This time you
I was talking about myself.
I know! This time it sounded like you wanted to end the stream. But there's
no. Yeah, no, you can do that. I was just getting that plug in.
No, you can... Because the plugs are normally at the end anyways. So, no, you can go on. You're doing a great job. Go on.
Okay, well, there you go. I've never done this before. It's my first time, so you'll have to forgive me. We got all of the 2SRL stuff tomorrow, Tier 2 and Tier 1. Next week we got Hungary. We got the usual.
You misunderstood me. There's still people in the interview lounge.
Really? They want interviewing? Oh no! Oh man. Okay, I thought we were ending the stream. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can. Oh man, I didn't know they wanted an interview. Oh man. I guess we can bring in our race winner who did okay today. It's like, well, fine. Here is Hugo. With another fantastic performance in all seriousness, Hugo. What to say about that? Well, I mean, you were on older tires than everyone else, and we thought, it's going to be a close finish between Hugo and Gary, and then Hugo's like, no, I'm just going to drive faster than everyone else, and pull away despite having 7-lap older tires. So that was how that went down. How did it go for you, Hugo?
Exactly how you described it.
Got the Danny Rick energy there. It's like, we have a 5-second penalty. I'll just drive faster then. It's.
I mean, I think if there wasn't the VSC and the safety car, then I think there was a possibility that you would have seen a puncture at the end of the race, but that never happened. So.
Okay, because we figured the mediums were totally fine. Does that mean that copy going on hards was tactical rather than a mistake?
I mean, I still think going on the mediums is the better strategy. I just don't like it. It would have been similar with me going on softs in Austria.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
hards is the safe option, but mediums is the fast option.
Yeah, if you want to win the race, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we figured that the copy going on hards was probably a misclick or something like that. But yeah, I mean that does make sense. So no puncture in any case. What were your tires on at the end?
66-ish.
Oh, okay, they weren't so bad then.
Yeah.
So yeah, another 2 laps of wear or so from the lack of safety car would have put you close. But yeah, so I mean, let's go back to qualifying because it was such a close grid, and we saw you do. Well, Timo saw you do. I heard about it. A 24-0 last night in rapid races. So did you just not hook a lap up? What was different today?
I didn't do a single lap today, so I just hopped on and.
I see the old Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
First lap of the weekend is in Q1. Yeah, okay.
If you don't count Friday as the weekend.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, from there, and you had a difficult lap 1 as well. Then you got overtaken by a couple of cars. But from there, I guess the strategy call was what put you at the front and made you the person to beat. So yeah, I mean, was there any thought behind? Any thought of like not pitting and staying out? Was it always the option to pit?
It was definitely the option to pit. It was either go on hards or mediums because pitting outside of the safety car is you just lose so much time. Because yesterday I was P4 and I pitted under the VSC onto softs. And I finished something like, I don't know, I would say like maybe 15 to 20 seconds behind where I was. Maybe, I don't know.
We ran rapid races?
Yeah.
Finished right behind.
It's a long pit lane.
P10.
Yeah, and I would have finished P4 if I didn't pit. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. It is a really long pit lane, like 28 seconds or something you lose doing a green flag pit stop. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, at the end, did you expect to be able to pull away from Gary? What was the thinking at the end?
I didn't expect to pull away, but I wasn't expecting him to close up very fast because, again, yesterday, I mean, I was when I pitted the softs at the very end. In last 3 laps, I stopped closing in on Timo, and that's just purely because the mediums just don't drop off at all.
It's true.
But like tires, like the soft tire, it does drop off a lot.
Yeah, I mean, even the soft though, Icewind was pretty quick at the end of the race. He was suffering a little bit, but it was still. He was still sort of competing there, so yeah, I mean it makes sense.
I mean by the soft dropping off, I mean like they stop being soft pace and start being like medium pace. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, obviously it goes without saying. And the whole driver of the day thing, like I said to Icewind, that basically you put in a driver of the day performance every week, so. We have to give it to other people sometimes, and you won the race, so it's that hopefully can be some consolation.
Your tears are gonna fill your next trophy.
My driver of the day is more valuable than my race.
Oh, well, that's nice, Hugo, but yeah, we have to give it to other people. But you got Hungary next week. Maybe you can be driver of the day there. I don't know. How are you feeling about Hungary?
What do I have to do to get driver of the day?
You have to hope that everyone.
I've done everything I need to this race to get driver of the day. So
you do that every week.
You have to qualify on hard.
You have to be a worse driver.
And qualify in the top 10 so that you start the race on those hards as well.
Qualifying on hards is impossible.
Well, that's the point of the challenge.
Okay.
But yeah, is it a good track for you? I figure it probably is. I mean, they're all good tracks for you, so I mean.
I am really looking forward to Hungary. this just flows really nicely.
Yeah, it does. I agree. It's a fun track. All right. Well,
Yeah.
any shout outs you want to give? We'll leave. I think I don't know. How are you doing for time, Timo? Because I'm struggling a little bit.
For like 5
We'll maybe
minutes.
get. Okay, we'll get
ask
Julian and Astro in for
what-
like one question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before I go, I'd just like to shout out Danny for his spin.
Oh, you absolute, you absolute.
It was before the race. He was like, "Oh, please get my first win at the home Grand Prix, please, please." I just said, "You jinxed it, Danny."
Okay, wait. Did he mention how well? You realized that it was another Crash Band copy, right? He was mad about that, wasn't he? He shouted something like, "Oh, copy again!" Something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Of course he did. I knew it. It's was easy to predict. Okay. Anyways, Julian and Astro.
Yeah. Thanks for talking to us, Hugo. Well done. That was Mr. Bugoz. We're going to bring in Julian and Astro for a flyby interview, I guess, because we're struggling a little bit for time. But we'll bring you guys in anyway. It looked like Astro. That was just very quickly. That was a fantastic performance. You were at the front pretty much the whole time. How was it for you?
Well, it was something unusual for me, so it was a good experience. But yeah, first time I didn't disconnect. That's a big achievement.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I saw you panicking about setups at the beginning as well.
Yeah, like
the race,
literally
so,
before, when I got into the session, I made a setup just randomly, just tweaked a setup from Pretorius. So yeah, it was pretty good on soft. It was quite tricky in the low speed. I lost the car my last run in the loop, so it was my quali over. So could have maybe had pole, but yeah, I somehow managed to get to P1 by turn 1. So
yeah, I saw your start. It was incredible.
I have no idea how it happened.
It was Kimi Räikkönen at Singapore 2017.
Yes.
You just passed everyone on the right hand side. It was great.
Yes. And yeah, I got a penalty. That was pretty unfair, I think, but yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, it was interesting because I saw myself in P3 when I crossed the line. I was so happy. Then I saw myself go back to P4, and I couldn't believe it. So yeah. Well, I hope Copy gets a penalty for that yeet on Triton, but yeah.
Copy for the yeet on Triton. Oh, we'll have to look at that one. I hadn't seen that at all. Is it? Well, there we go. We'll have to see. But yeah, fantastic result. And Julian, you had an eventful race. A pretty well. What happened in qualifying? First of all, you just lost it on the exit of Beckett's, I guess.
Yeah, I think you guys already figured it out as it happened. The first running quali, I wanted to stay behind Hugo for a lap, see what lines he was taking, because I didn't really I had a little bit of practice in time trial earlier. I struggled a lot with just well, I need to talk F1 language now, not IndyCar language. I had a lot of oversteer, and I couldn't really find
loose. Yeah,
man, loosey goosey. But my car was sliding all over the place, and I struggled to find a well balanced setup that suited my driving style and that I could drive fast with. So I wanted to see what lines he was taking, and it helped a little bit. I did another lap right after. And yeah, I had a little bit of understeer for a change in the S's, and got on the grass, and it just looped me around, and that was that for quali. I had a pretty good start in the race. I think I got up from P13 to P10 or P11 after turn 3 or turn 4, so that was pretty good. Then the safety car came out on lap 1. I stayed out because I thought that was the most sensible thing to do for me at that moment. And that got me a few positions because people on the softs pitted, and I was really happy with that. And I was able to stay with the lead group for a little bit as well until that second safety car came out. And I wasn't sure whether to pit or not. I heard Icewind took the softs to the end from there. I thought that wasn't possible at that moment, so I just stayed out. I knew that Pretorius left the session, He disconnected probably. So I basically had to make the decision entirely on my own. And I mean, considering I barely played this game, I think it wasn't too bad of a call to stay out. But yeah, it is what it is. It wasn't the right one, obviously, because Iceland got a really good result from P20 to P5 or something. So that was good from him. But yeah, Pretorius and I were both on the mediums. We stayed out. We had a really good fight until I basically killed him on the at the little straight before the pit entrance. He moved to the inside. Well, let me say that again. I wanted to move to the inside, but he defended the inside, so I wanted to move to the outside. And our cars were so close that I didn't even realize we were that close. So I just about hit him, but it was enough to spin him around. And yeah, it was completely my fault because I hit him up the rear. The car behind is always at fault if you rear end somebody. So yeah, just really unfortunate. In the end, it doesn't really affect any of us both because we were not fighting for points anyway. So personally, for my own race, I'm not really bothered at all. For Pretorius, I can understand if he's a little annoyed with it, but I think it will pass. So yeah, my apologies to him, but just not a great race today.
And yeah, you guys were. I mean, the strategy was, basically the worst possible timing. I think for those two safety cars for you, because it certainly wasn't clear to us that anyone could make it to the end. We were surprised that Icewind tried, and he made it work. So yeah, certainly you weren't alone in. Yeah, Timo was not. I have to give credit to. He was not surprised. He got the strategy call right there. Well done, Timo.
I mean, isn't Timo blonde? So like he's always making these weird decisions. But sometimes it happens to be the right one.
Did you say I'm blonde? What? Did you? I mean, I'm just not. But okay.
You are.
I have beautiful long hair. You're just
He's a
jealous.
blonde bombshell. Absolutely.
I am just not blonde. It's just factually incorrect. My last name is literally my hair color. Okay, there you go.
It doesn't matter what your actual hair color is now. You'll be blonde forever in the. In the
I hereby announce my retirement of commentating for the Extreme Gaming channel. We've reached 500 subscribers, by the way, and I'm really happy about that milestone. It means a lot to me, but those people are unbearable. I'm out. Bye.
You have 500 subscribers. Get good, man. I have 20 on my channel.
Oh man! Wow. There you
Julian
go.
pulled the Bahrain, just with the wrong Mercedes.
I mean, I was joking about that with Astro earlier, like in another channel, and I joked about Pretorius being second choice to be the one to get taken out. I wanted to do Astro first. That was a joke, but he was too far up the road. Nah, but it's just really unfortunate. It sucks that it happened, but it is what it is. Next week we try again and hopefully keep the points coming in again, like the last two races. Obviously not today, but the races previous to this one.
For a second, I thought you meant try again taking out the other Mercedes.
Try to take you out.
Well, now you have experience taking out Mercedes, so.
Yeah, Gary almost took you out as well. Like he said, like I joked as well. Like what do the Racing Point guys have against Mercedes to take each other out? Season 4, I took you out in Bahrain, and then today I took out Pretorius, and Gary almost took out you.
Yes.
Well,
anyway.
There you go. Yeah, Mercedes. We just have to hope that Dutchmen don't take out Mercedes tomorrow either in the real race, I guess.
Oh, that would be great.
Well, maybe
Brazil and Austria with Albon.
So, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think we gotta end the stream. Yeah, thanks for talking to us, boys.
A little extended interview. We've managed to cover 35 minutes without even bringing in Tipsy. So
that's a very good effort.
That was really good. Yeah. So yeah, thanks to everyone who joined us for the interviews. Also thanks to everyone who watched the stream. And of course, it's time for some shameless plugs once again. Tara tried it earlier, but I gotta defend my territory. This is my job, okay? Tomorrow I've got 2 SRL with 2 races, of course. The tier 2 race at 18 o'clock, and then 2 hours later we've got 2 SRL tier 1, and then we head into another week of racing next week with Assetto Corsa leading at Paul Ricard, and then the entire normal F1 week is we're at Hungary, so that's gonna be interesting. Hungary, of course, a tight track as we outlined in the interviews. So make sure to check that one out. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.